Hey everybody, welcome. I want to talk about my plans for the Southwest RepRap Festival. So I'm trying to organize it. I've got one volunteer who's trying to help me with logo designs and maybe the website. Sure, I'd like to get more volunteers to help out and get this thing rolling, but it looks like so far I've gotten nobody that really wants to help. So that's cool. I'll do my best to try and get this happening and make it happen. So I've checked into venues. I found what I think will be a good venue. The availability isn't until February of 2020. I was trying to get late January 2020, but that didn't work out. It was already booked up, and the only thing that was available was like the first week of January, and that wasn't going to work because I didn't want everybody to be short funds. You know, it's Christmas just before that, so all the holidays, everybody's spending their money for holidays, buying gifts for their family and friends and things like that. I didn't want that to be an issue, so therefore I tried to move it later, but I didn't want to move it too late in the year because you have MRF in April, and prior to that we have East Coast RepRap in October. So I'm just trying to avoid some conflicts. So this would be the first one in the western part of the country. I left it to call it Southwest because that way if somebody later wants to organize one in the northwest part of the country, they'd have a Northwest RepRap Festival, or NERF. So ours is SRRF, SRRF, Southwest RepRap Festival. So I'm trying to get everything organized. Like I said, I think I found a venue. It'll be just over 17,000 square feet of floor space available. I'm going down on Friday, whatever it is, April 19th, I think it is. That's my off Friday from work. So I'm going to go down Friday afternoon to take a good look at the place, get an idea of the layouts, get an idea of power drops, what kind of power we need. They provide up to 500, I think it's 500 tables? No, 500 chairs. 500 chairs and about 50 tables that they will provide. The only issues they have is we cannot bring in catered food of our own. You can go out on your own and buy yourself individually food and bring it back to your table or your booth, but you cannot bring food to share with everybody. They have a catering company, and it's exclusive, and it's a $5,000 fee or fine, basically, from the company whose venue it is, if we don't use their catering company and we bring in too much food. So we don't want to do that. We want to avoid that. Pretty much all the locations around my area here in Southern California, they want to do the same thing. They want you to use their catering companies. They don't want you to bring your own food. They don't want you to do any of that stuff. So therefore we're kind of stuck with this kind of setup. The area that I'm looking at is centrally located, so it's right in what they call Mission Valley of San Diego. So it's like maybe 15 minutes to the San Diego Zoo from where we'll hold the event. It's about also about 15 minutes to SeaWorld. So, and it's about 20 minutes from the ocean. So it's really very centrally located. I have not approached anybody. I tried to approach somebody. I haven't heard anything back from them about sponsoring, helping with sponsorship. But that'll happen more later when once I get everything set up. I need to create the LLC for the RepRap Festival. I need to buy the insurance for the LLC. There's a lot of other things I need to do in prep work. Once the LLC is formed, I can start sending out requests for sponsorships to companies. I'll know more about the exact cost of everything when I know how many power drops we're going to need, because they charge per power drop. I need to find out from people if they're interested in having food catered. That's another thing. If we have food catered, they're the catering company. They'll set it all up. They'll do it all. We can decide on a menu, what kind of food to have at midday or something late, and things later in the afternoon or something like that. But we need to make that decision because it's going to cost per head for that catering. The planned event, like Murph has the RC car, and IRF has the Derby car, which is more like almost like Pinewood Derby but 3D printed. So I was thinking 3D printed gliders. No RC control. You toss them and see how far they'll fly. Since we now have a new filament coming out soon, I believe it's Filamentive, that is making the expandable, or whatever they call it, type of PLA. So that would lighten up your aircraft to make it a little bit lighter. So that's a thought. Just thinking about different things you could do. So the goal would be whoever's glider would fly the farthest measuring distance would be the winner of the contest. And I don't know what the prize is going to be yet, because I don't know what kind of money we're going to have until I get everything situated with sponsorships and things like that. So a lot's going to depend on what kind of sponsors I can get, how much money I can get from sponsors, how much I'm going to charge for tickets for people that attend. You know, those kind of things. It's all up in the air right now. Like this is still in the preliminary planning stages. With basically a team of one person doing all the work, it's very difficult. I'm doing the best I can. I also work a full-time job, and my full-time job I arrive at my work typically at 6 o'clock in the morning. I leave my work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We work 9-hour days, 1 hour lunch in there. But we work 9-hour days, and then every other Friday we have off. So that's the way it works. It's called a 980 shift. So in my time that I leave my house. It's an hour drive to work. It's an hour drive coming home. I'm typically gone between 12 and 13 hours a day just in my work and commute time. What else can I say? You know, it's going to be a lot of work, but hopefully it's worth it in the long run. Someone said, you know, why don't you plan one? Because I said there's nothing out here in the West. And they said, why don't you plan one? So I took it as a challenge, and I said, I will attempt. I sent out some requests on Twitter to see if anybody was interested. I only had a couple of people who said they were interested, and one was more serious than the other because he kept hounding me about it. And he was only interested really in doing like the logo design and website design, and that's fine. That's a help. It's something I don't have to do. And so now, right now, the way things are, I'm going to be the treasurer, the secretary, and all the other things for doing IRF. I'll do the best I can, and we'll see how it all works out. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. My email is william.devine@att.net. So it's my first name dot last name at att.net. So yeah, feel free to call, give me shoot me an email if you want to volunteer. That would be nice. Or if you have any suggestions on how to do things, on what you'd like to see or what you want to do. What do you think of the idea of doing a glider competition? Any other suggestions you might have. So this will be the first one. It doesn't necessarily have to stay in San Diego. That's why it's Southwest. We could move it to Phoenix. We could move it to Las Vegas. We could do it anywhere. I tried to pick a place close to home so that I can go, because being the only person doing it, I can go see the venues, I can check them out, make the arrangements, and everything's fairly close to me that way. Going to Phoenix, going to Las Vegas, you know, it's a 4 to 6 hour drive to either one of those places. And so it's more time for me and less availability for me to try and work things out and work out the details of it. I try to pick something a little more family friendly. We have the beach, we have the zoo, we have SeaWorld. You're only like 2 hours from Disneyland if you want to go to Disneyland. You know, about the same distance to go to Knott's Berry Farm. You know, there's all the sorts of things to do in Southern California. So, and typically this was an unusual year, as everybody's seen everywhere in the country. It's a very unusual weather year. Typically, we're running in the 70s and 80s, you know, in January. But we're not seeing that. We didn't see that this year. It was very cold this year. Hopefully, it will be very nice next year if we pull this off. If not, it'll be delayed until I can pull it off. But I'm doing everything that in my power that I can do to make it happen. I know this is running a little long, probably a little too long. I mean, who wants to listen to me, right? So anyway, suggestions, shoot me an email. I'll also put it down in the titles under this on my YouTube channel here. I'll put down my email in there too. Anyway, feel free. Give me a call. Let me know, and we'll see what we can do. I'm doing the best I can so far. Like I said, venues, I'm pretty well set. Hopefully it works. If it does, great. Team of one. We're doing good so far. Anyway, back to it. Have a good one, guys.